Hello everyone, welcome you all. Let's start our discussion and solve question paper of CUCET 2021. In the previous videos, we have solved up to question number 60. So in this video, we will start from question number 61. Question number 61. In which of the following is the interference produced by the division of amplitude? We know the phenomenon of interference may be grouped into two categories: division of amplitude and division of wavefront. Division of amplitude. In this method, amplitude of incident beam is divided into two or more parts either by partial reflection or refraction. The interference in thin film, Newton's ring, Michelson interferometer, Fabry-Perot's interferometer come under this category. Division of wavefront. The two parts of the same wavefront travel through different paths and reunite on a screen to produce fringe pattern. The interference in Young double slit experiment, Lloyd's mirror, Fresnel biprism, Fresnel mirror and lasers are come under this category. So here a division of amplitude in Newton's ring. So your correct option is option 2. Question number 62. For a transistor amplifier in common emitter configuration having load impedance of 1 kilo ohm, the current gain is. In common emitter configuration, we have to find the current gain. RL, HFE, HOE are given. So we can directly use the mathematical expression for current gain to find the value. So current gain is minus HFE by 1 plus HOE RL. So put the value and get the answer. That is minus 50 divided by 1 plus 25 into 10 to the power minus 6 into 1 kilo ohm. So that is 10 to the power 3 ohm. So it is equal to minus 48.78. So your correct option is option 4. If the question is on current gain, so you should remember the basic current gain in common base configuration, common collector and common emitter configuration. In common base configuration, current gain is denoted by alpha and it is given by IC by IE. Current gain in common collector, gamma equals to IE by IB, and current gain in common emitter, that is beta, equal to IC by IB. You should remember the relation between alpha, beta and gamma, that is alpha equals to beta by beta plus 1, beta equals to alpha by 1 minus alpha, gamma equals to beta plus 1, and 1 by alpha minus 1 by beta equals to 1, gamma equals to 1 by 1 minus alpha. Question number 63. What is second nearest neighbor distance in BCC crystal whose conventional unit cell parameter is A? We know second nearest neighbor distance in BCC structure is A. So you should make a table and try to remember for simple cubic, BCC and FCC, first nearest number of first nearest neighbor, or that is coordination number, then first nearest neighbor distance, second nearest neighbor distance. Question number 64. The ratio of the sizes of lead and magnesium nuclei is approximately. So here we have to find the ratio of the sizes of the nuclei. We have R equal to R naught, A to the power 1 by 3. So from here R PB by R mg equals to A PB A mg to the power 1 by 3. So 208 by 26 1 by 3 equal to 8 1 by 3 equals to 2. So your correct option is option 1. Question number 65. Under equilibrium conditions, the thermodynamic variable associated with black body radiation at temperature T, which reduces to 0, is. As we know, under equilibrium condition, Gibbs free energy reduces to 0. So your correct option is option 3. Question number 66. A particle is described by a wave function psi x equal to exponential minus mod x in one dimension. The probability that it will be found in the region mod x less than equal to a, where a greater than 0. We have to find the probability in this region, that is minus a less than equal to x less than equal to a. So let us first write the psi x. Psi x is given exponential minus mod x. We know mod x equal to plus x for x greater than 0, and it is equal to minus x for x less than 0. So wave function psi x equals to exponential minus x for x greater than 0 and exponential x for x less than 0. Now probability, that is between minus a to a, that is psi star psi dx. As it is a real wave function, so psi star and psi will be equal. So now this can be broken as minus a to 0 psi star psi dx plus 0 to a psi star psi dx. Okay. So for x less than 0, wave function is exponential x, and as it is a real wave function, so psi star will be exponential x. So minus a to 0 exponential 2x dx plus 0 to a. For x greater than 0, it is exponential minus x. So exponential minus 2x dx. So it is exponential 2x by 2 minus a to 0 plus exponential minus 2x by minus 2 0 to a. So it is half 1 minus exponential minus 2a, and it is plus half 1 minus exponential minus 2a. Okay, so it is 1 minus exponential minus 2a. So your correct option is option 4. Question number 67. The ratio of the intensity of magnetic field at the center of a very long solenoid to that at the extreme ends is. For a long solenoid, we know magnetic field at midpoint is uniform, and that is given by mu naught n I. Mu naught is permeability of free space, small n is the number of turns per unit length, small I is the current flowing through the solenoid, and at the end point it is half mu naught n I. So the ratio midpoint to end point will be 1 by half, that is 2. So your correct option is option 1. Here you should remember the magnetic field for straight wire also. Let current I is flowing, and we are calculating at a distance d. Here magnetic field at midpoint is mu naught I by 2 pi t, and magnetic field at the end point is mu naught I by 4 pi d. Question number 68. Which of the following matrices is skew Hermitian? We know a matrix is said to be skew Hermitian if it satisfies this relation, that is A dagger equals to minus A, or you can say A transpose conjugate equals to its negative. transpose means transpose of a matrix can be obtained by interchanging row into column or columns into row. So using this property you can check which one of the following matrices is skew Hermitian. But when you will check that, you will find option 1, 3 and 4 all are skew Hermitian. But option 2 is not skew Hermitian. So let us check that one. The given matrix is 0 minus I 0. So let us first calculate its A dagger, that is A transpose conjugate. So A transpose is by interchanging row into column and or column into row. So it will be 0 I minus I 0. Now A transpose conjugate, it will be 0 I minus I 0. Now let us calculate negative of that matrix, that is minus A. So multiply negative sign with each element. So that will be 0 minus I 0. Now you can check A transpose conjugate is not equals to minus A. So this given option is not a skew Hermitian matrix, but option 1, 3, 4 are skew Hermitian. So maybe there is a printing mistake in the question, but you should do according to your concept. Okay. Here another property can be used. In a skew Hermitian matrix, all the main diagonal elements are either 0 or purely imaginary. So you can check here, but using this property we cannot say just looking at the option. So you have to use this property here. You should remember the properties for other matrix like for symmetric matrix. If A transpose equal to A, then that will be symmetric matrix. A transpose equal to negative of the matrix, then that will be skew symmetric matrix. A dagger equals to A, that is Hermitian. A dagger means A transpose conjugate. Or A transpose A equals to identity matrix, that will be orthogonal. A dagger times A equals to identity matrix, that will be unitary matrix. Question number 69. A satellite moves around the Earth in a circular orbit of radius r, centered at the Earth. A second satellite moves in an elliptic orbit of major axis 8r, with the Earth at one of the foci. If the former takes 1 day to complete a revolution, the latter would take. First satellite is moving in circular orbit with radius r, and the second satellite is moving in elliptical orbit with major axis 8r. So here we have to find the time period for second satellite. From Kepler's third law, we know square of the time period directly proportional to the cube of the semi-major axis. So we have to use semi-major axis, that is 4r, not 8r. Okay, so be careful when you are using this formula. Okay, so T1 square directly proportional to r cube for first satellite. For second satellite, T2 square directly proportional to 4r cube. Okay, we have to use the semi-major axis. So now T2 by T1 will be equals to 4r by r 3 by 2, that is 4 to the power 3 by 2. So from here T2 equals to it is 8 times T1, that is T1 is 1 day, so 8 into 1 day will be 8 days. So your correct option is option 2. Question number 70. If the angle between the direction of incident X-ray and diffracted one is 16 degree, the angle of incidence glancing will be. From X-ray diffraction figure we have this one. I is the angle of incident, and here another one is the glancing angle. So you should remember this. that the angle between the incident ray and the normal to the surface is the angle of incidence, and the angle between the incident ray and the surface is the glancing angle. If that is theta, it will be 2 theta. You should do your geometry 2 theta how it is. Now from laws of reflection, this angle I will be equal to this. Here in the question it is given that 2 theta is 16 degree, so theta will be 8 degree. Now in the question it is asking the angle of incident, that is glancing. So glancing angle here it will be 8 degree, but in option there is no 8 degree. So if we calculate the angle of incidence here, angle of incidence, that is 90 minus theta. This total is 90, so 90 minus theta will give us the angle of incidence, that is I. So 90 minus 8 degree, that is 82 degree. So here 82 degree is the angle of incident and glancing angle is 80 degree. 8 degree. Question number 71. If K is wave vector of incident X-ray and G be the reciprocal lattice vector, then condition for Bragg reflection is given by. We know condition for Bragg reflection is G equal to delta K, or that is G equal to K dash minus K, or G plus K equal to K dash. Now squaring both sides, you will find that 2G dot K vector plus G square equals to 0. So this is one condition for Bragg reflection. Now replacing G with minus G, you will find 2G dot K equal to G square. So this is another condition for Bragg reflection. So here correct option is option 3. We have one more condition. You should remember that is 2D sin theta equals to n lambda. This is also a condition for Bragg reflection. Question number 72. A Carnot engine operating between 27 degrees Celsius and 127 degrees Celsius has efficiency equal to. We have efficiency equals to 1 minus T2 by T1. So that is 1 minus 300 by 400, that is 1 minus 3 by 4, that is 1 by 4. So efficiency is equal to 25%. So your correct option is option 4. Question number 73. According to Einstein's photoelectric equation, the plot of the kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectrons from a metal versus the frequency of the incident radiation gives straight line Hodge slope. We have to draw kinetic energy versus frequency graph. From Einstein's photoelectric equation, we have kinetic energy of emitted photoelectron equals to h nu minus phi naught. H nu is the energy of photon, phi naught is the work function of the metal. So now you can see here we have this equation is similar like y equal to mx plus c. C is the y-intercept. Okay, so we know this is a equation of straight line. So when we will draw graph between kinetic energy and frequency, that is y versus x, will be straight line. Okay, so let us draw the graph. Here x, that is our frequency, y kinetic energy, slope is negative, y-intercept is negative. So the graph will be like this. Okay, so this is your y-intercept phi naught, or here it is minus phi naught. This is theta. For slope we define like this, m equal to tan theta. Here if you compare the two equations, here slope is m equals to h. So the slope here is Planck constant, this is constant. So the slope is same for all metals and independent of intensity, because the slope here is Planck constant. Okay, so your correct option is option 4. Question number 74. Quartz has refractive indices 1.553 and 1.544. The thickness of the quarter wavelet for sodium light of wavelength 589 nanometer will be. Quartz crystal is given. We have to find the thickness of the quartz crystal for quarter wavelet. Okay, we are given with two refractive indices, and mathematical formula for thickness is lambda by 4 times any difference no. So each quartz, we know quartz is a positive crystal. So for positive crystal, N greater than NO. N is the refractive index associated with the extraordinary ray, and NO is the refractive index associated with the ordinary ray. So you should remember this. For positive crystal, N greater than NO. Similarly, for negative crystal, for example, calcite. Calcite is a negative crystal. For calcite, N less than NO. Okay. So N, NO and lambda are given. So you can use the value, that is 589 nanometer by 4 times 1.553 minus 1.544. So answer is 16.361 micrometer. Question number 75. A ray of light is incident on a glass plate of refractive index 1.732 at polarizing angle. The angle of refraction will be. From Brewster's law, we know when a light incident at polarizing angle, the reflected light will be plane polarized light. And another condition for to get polarization is that the IP plus R equals to 90 degree. You should remember this condition also. From laws of reflection, angle of incident and angle of reflection are equal. So IP, this angle equals to this angle, and IP plus R equals to 90 degree. So using Snell's law, we can write 1 sin IP equals to N sin R. So sin IP equals to N times R will be 90 minus IP. Sin 90 minus IP, that is N cos IP. So 10 IP equals to N, that is 10 IP equals to N is given, that is 1.732. So 1.732 approximately, that is root 3. So from here we can write angle IP equals to 60 degree. So if IP is 60 degree, then from this relation, angle of refraction R equals to 90 minus 60, that is 30 degree. So your correct option is option 2. So we have completed up to question number 75. I think this will definitely help you in preparation for your exam. All the best for your exam. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Thank you.